Europe's energy strategy, long reliant on Russian gas pipelines and American LNG, has changed overnight. Europe is quietly exploring a significant LNG deal with Canada, creating waves in global energy markets and reshaping future trade routes. For Europe, it's a move toward energy security and diversification. For Canada, a game-changing opportunity, and for the US, a serious wake-up call. This isn't just about LNG, it's about reshaping global energy politics. Europe's reliance on US LNG seemed secure until it wasn't. Rising prices, restrictive trade terms, and ongoing political tensions left European leaders searching for alternatives. Enter Canada. Vast natural gas reserves position Canada as a logical choice. Stable political relations with Europe reduce the risk of supply disruptions. Infrastructure improvements along Canada's coasts made new LNG export routes possible. More importantly, Europe learned from past mistakes. Relying too heavily on one supplier, first Russia, then the US, wasn't sustainable. Canada offered something unique, a fresh option in a rapidly evolving energy market. Canada's LNG journey is just beginning, but it's gaining momentum fast. LNG Canada is one of the flagship projects, with construction already underway in British Columbia. It's set to become a significant supplier for global markets. Quebec is rethinking its LNG policies, opening the door for more export projects. Major energy players like TotalEnergies are pushing for faster development in Canada, seeing the potential for long-term growth. If Canada can expand its infrastructure and secure more international buyers, it could become a leading LNG exporter within a decade. The US has been Europe's top LNG supplier, but competition is heating up. A potential deal between Canada and Europe introduces a new competitor that the US wasn't prepared for. Lower transport costs from Canada's East Coast terminals give it an advantage. European buyers are eager to diversify to avoid future trade disputes. Pressure is mounting on US LNG exporters to renegotiate long-term contracts to remain competitive. Europe has learned hard lessons. Energy diversification is no longer optional, it's a necessity. Canada's potential entry into the market is part of a broader strategy. Russia's gas cutoff left Europe scrambling. US LNG provided relief, but long-term contracts raised concerns about pricing stability. Canadian LNG offers a third pillar of energy security, reducing reliance on any single supplier. Diversifying isn't just smart, it's essential for long-term stability, and Europe is wasting no time. For European energy companies, securing LNG contracts isn't just about price, it's about reliability, flexibility, and long-term stability. Flexibility in contracts. European buyers prefer contracts that allow for spot market access rather than rigid long-term deals. Stable political ties. Canada's reputation as a politically stable, resource-rich country makes it more attractive. Infrastructure expansion in Europe to receive Canadian LNG. Europe is investing in additional storage capacity and pipeline networks. This potential deal with Canada represents more than diversification. It's Europe hedging its bets in a rapidly shifting energy market. Canada's ability to meet Europe's growing demand for LNG depends on one thing: infrastructure. The Trans Mountain pipeline expansion tripled capacity for oil exports. Now, similar upgrades are needed for LNG. New export terminals on the East Coast are being planned, but regulatory challenges and environmental concerns could slow progress. Partnerships with global energy giants are helping fast-track some projects. If Canada can overcome these obstacles, it will cement its place as a global LNG leader. China has been quietly expanding its global energy network, and Canadian LNG could become part of that strategy. Here's why this matters. China is reducing its dependence on Middle Eastern gas by diversifying suppliers. Canadian LNG is a perfect fit for China's upgraded refineries and growing energy needs. New trade partnerships could give Canada access to both European and Asian markets, enhancing its global reach. For Canada, this isn't just about Europe, it's about becoming a key player in the global energy market. Europe's interest in Canadian LNG isn't just a short-term fix, it's part of a long-term strategy. To build a more resilient energy network, future plans could include expanding LNG storage capacity across key European hubs, integrating Canadian LNG into Europe's broader renewable energy strategy, and exploring joint ventures with Canadian companies to secure long-term supply contracts. For Europe, this is about more than supply, it's about building partnerships that last. This isn't just about Europe and Canada, it's part of a larger global trend as nations compete for control of the LNG market. The US is ramping up efforts to maintain its dominance by renegotiating contracts and offering incentives. Russia's pivot toward China means less competition for Europe but more influence in Asia. Middle Eastern suppliers are adapting, offering discounts and long-term agreements. The energy trade war is just beginning, and Canada's entry adds a new twist. A potential Canada-Europe LNG deal is already sending ripples through global energy markets. Major players are taking notice. OPEC nations are reassessing their strategies. South American gas exporters are eyeing new opportunities. Energy traders are adjusting forecasts. The energy market is shifting, and Canada is at the center. If this LNG deal materializes, Canada could secure a position as a top-tier LNG supplier, rivaling established giants. A growing reputation for reliability will allow Canada to negotiate new deals. Investment in energy infrastructure will attract more partners and boost Canada's economy. Global influence will rise. This shift won't happen overnight, but Canada is no longer just a regional player. This isn't just about exporting LNG. It's about reshaping global trade routes. Canada's LNG expansion creates two key shipping corridors, a Pacific corridor for direct access to Asia and an Atlantic corridor for Europe. As new LNG terminals develop, global shipping networks will adjust. More competition for LNG routes means new investment opportunities. Control over shipping routes means influence. Canada's potential to dominate both corridors positions it as a game-changer. Europe isn't just searching for LNG, it's racing to secure the best deals and form new alliances. Canadian LNG adds a new layer of competition. Germany and France are pushing for long-term Canadian contracts. Eastern European nations are eager to bring Canadian LNG into their supply chains. The UK is taking a different path, negotiating separately. This is more than an energy race, it's a reshaping of Europe's geopolitical landscape. This isn't just about securing energy, it's about redefining Europe's geopolitical alliances. Energy isn't just a commodity, it's leverage. Canadian LNG could become a diplomatic asset. Stronger ties with Europe will open doors for deeper collaboration. New partnerships with emerging markets will diversify Canada's trade portfolio. Tensions with the US could rise. While Canada's LNG projects are gaining momentum, environmental concerns are heating up. Protests have raised questions about pipeline expansion. Climate activists argue that investing in LNG contradicts environmental commitments. Balancing economic growth with environmental responsibility will be critical. This potential LNG deal could change everything: global trade, energy security, and alliances. What do you think? Will Canada's move reshape the game, or will the US push back? If you found this insight valuable, subscribe for the latest global shifts. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.